Alright guys, today I want to talk about literally the most important variable when it comes to being a more successful backcountry hunter, big woods hunter, basically any type of hunter who needs to make quick decisions and specifically quick shooting, okay, which for some of us that is literally the only way that you're going to put meat in the freezer is if you can make very fast, accurate decisions and ultimately accurate shooting. When I say fast, I mean in like under 2 seconds, sometimes less than that. I know there's probably people out there listening to this saying under 2 seconds to make a shot. No way. Well, the fact of the matter is, if you track whitetails, hunt the big woods, still hunting, where you're essentially the opportunity to shoot a moving target, that's going to happen more often than not, and you have to be able to make that shot. And before you can even make the shot, you have to be able to identify the animal. And the most important variable to doing that, not just identify the animal, but identify where you're going to make that shot, like picking a hole through the woods. And that variable is your vision. Okay, if you don't have not just great eyes, okay, like that's certainly a bonus. If you've got good eyesight, then that's certainly going to help you with hunting in this manner and making those shots and identifying animals. But it's more than that. Like, you can have somebody who has really good vision, but yet they lack the visual agility to make shots and decisions quickly and effectively. And ultimately, that's a trainable and controllable factor that you absolutely must be implementing in your training. Okay, I mean, it is just, it's too important and it's too easy to train for you to be neglecting it. Okay, now I'm taking this video today from the road in my truck while moving, because this is a strategy that I've been implementing for years, and it's one that I kind of came up with just through thinking about hunting and how, identifying game quickly, and then as I'm driving down the road trying to identify game, whether it's in the woods or in the back of a field, all while you're driving down the road. I mean, I'm sure many of you can remember doing that when you were a kid and your dad's going, "Oh, look at that deer, that turkey out there," and you're looking and you see it, or when you can identify that animal before somebody else. So I call it seeing the layers. Okay, now this is exactly how we would basically, when we're moving through the woods, you're seeing the woods in layers. Okay, you've got very close, okay, this kind of up front and personal, or up close and personal, maybe in the 0 to 15 yard distance. Then you've got from that kind of like that middle zone, that 15 to 40 yards out. And I'm speaking more from the Northeast here, where we're hunting thick cover. This is not going to be open plains type of terrain like you might see out west. This is thicker, mixed growth timber, and that's going to be where these layers are kind of coming from, or these distances. So that's 15 to 40, 45, 50 maybe. That's kind of like the middle ground, that middle zone. And then you've got from 50 out to 80, 100, and then, in many situations, it's very rare that we could even see further than that, like that 80 yard distance. Again, this is talking about the Northeast. So as I'm driving down the road, all right, I'm always looking, always. Like, sometimes it annoys the hell out of my wife when I'm just looking here and I'm swerving because I'm trying to see something. But what I like to do is play this game where I'm gonna look real close, and then move my eyes to middle to far. Okay, now here I've got some open country, and I'm able to, again, I can see the layers. So I'm going to see how fast I can identify all of those layers as I'm moving. Okay, now the moving makes it much more difficult. You're going to be given very little time, okay, to see the layers, and then before you're into like another picture, okay, where we've moved past it. As I'm driving through, more suburban areas, I like to look right in the people's window of their house. Can I see the owner of that home standing at their sink? What's going on in the backyard? Oh, wow, I just saw, that there's a kid on the swing in the backyard, and I'm seeing that within a half second or a second. It's like I'm trying to identify and put together as many components to that picture, okay? Like I'm literally taking a snapshot as I go by this home here. What do I see up close, back, etc.? So I'm seeing the layers. And ultimately, you're training your eyes, okay? It'll get tiring. You do that for 15 minutes, and you're going to feel the muscles in the eyes really start to fatigue, okay? They're working. You're training them, no different than training the muscles in the body. You're going to be effectively making them stronger. But bigger than that, you're also going to be helping your central nervous system, and also this agility, this decision-making process. You're going to refine it so that you're able to recognize all of the layers quicker, okay? Recognize things that stick out. I mean, that's something that deer, really good deer hunters, elk hunters, any hunter really is able to recognize. Not just see the layers, but then recognize, things that are out of place. A horizontal line that is potentially the back of the buck that you're tracking. A flicker of an ear, a piece of antler, etc. So all of these things that are out of place. And ultimately, the quicker that you can recognize those things, okay, these components that are out of place in the system, through seeing these layers, you're going to be more effective, and ultimately you'll make quicker decisions, okay, when you see those things, because you've trained it, okay? It's no different than building any other skill set. You must get reps, okay? It's super helpful to do this in the woods, but most of us drive every single day. So train those eyes to see the layers, to see more, okay? And to do it really quickly. Because you see, shooting quickly that's agility. Again, now agility, I think people need to understand that in the conventional sense of, think athletics, okay? Take, it's football season now, let's take the running back. Football running back takes a handoff, okay? And then he's got to see the field. It's called field vision. Good field vision is a running back with good field vision is able to see all of the different components, being not only his offensive line or his receivers and quarterback. He's also able to recognize the defense, the ones that are trying to, take his ass out. He's able to see all of these parts, okay, put them together in such a way that he understands how they're moving. One is trying to get him, the other half are trying to make his job easier to make it upfield. So he's having to make very quick decisions based on what he sees. Okay, so again, that vision, that allows him to make quick decisions in a very inconsistent and unchoreographed environment. When it's choreographed, and again, back to sport, if you're running through a cone drill or the agility ladder, which is actually not agility at all, those are choreographed. They're consistent, predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen and how you will maneuver through them before you ever get to it. Okay, so that is not agility. Agility is these decisions that are made based on what you see within the environment that you're acting in, and then how quickly you're making them, okay, is going to make you a more or less agile athlete. So that running back who is able to make very quick decisions, okay, he's ultimately going to be more effective, okay, at maneuvering through, making cuts, breaking tackles. Oh geez, there goes a bear running across the road in front of me. So many bears right now. It is bear season too. Sorry. Yeah, anyway, looking for game. There goes one right across the road. So that running back is going to be more effective if he's able to make really quick decisions based on what he sees. So think hunting. Here I am moving through the woods. I'm tracking a buck, okay? And all of a sudden, I jump the buck, but I see that movement. The buck is moving quickly from right to left. I have to, one, recognize as I'm pulling up, there's a hole here that I'm going to, that deer is ultimately going to run through that hole, I hope. And I'm going to make that shot, boom, right there as he goes through it. As I'm swinging my gun, I'm on the animal, and pow! So I have to see a lot in a very short amount of time, line up all the dots, and then make the shot, okay, which is very, very hard to do. So if I have trained my eyes, okay, to have this, again, this more effective skill set or toolbox, so to speak, on making these decisions, right? Like, there it is, it's a buck. I identified not only the animal as the animal I'm going to shoot, but I also have to identify the speed that he's moving at. I have to identify the angle that he's moving at, and then hopefully get into a hole. Sometimes we're using a scope, sometimes we're using a peep. So regardless, okay, I have a lot of things to do, all right, decisions to be made in a very short period of time. So those of you who might be very quick on the range at pulling up your gun and shooting, pow, pow, pow. That's a drill we love to do. We'll walk up, there's 4 targets set up. We'll have somebody else, as we're walking, yell, buck. And you have to pull up, shoot 4 different targets at 4 different distances while on a timer. Okay, so we add a little bit of stress there also, and that's a whole nother factor. We have to make those shots, boom, 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 quickly, effectively, okay? And then, you don't know the angle you're necessarily going to be at, but that wasn't in the woods, right? Like, typically it's in the wide open. We're working on speed, and it's good to be fast and have good speed at pulling up the gun, making the shot, and like shouldering, etc. These are all skill sets that and movement patterns you should train, okay? But in the end, it's your eyes that are going to tell you, and how effective your eyes are, or how strong they are, refined at telling you what is going on. That's going to speed you up the most. You could have somebody who's very quick on the draw, very quick at making shots at targets, but horrible at doing that in the woods, okay? And that ultimately is what we want. The same as back to the running back. You could have a running back who's, runs a 4.3 or something like that, and he's lightning fast, but he has horrible field vision, okay? And he can't make quick cuts and decisions based on what he sees, and therefore he's not going to be as effective on the field of play. Our field of play is the woods. Okay, so here I am again, seeing the layers. I'm recognizing all of these different things, layers of distance, shadow, versus and that plays a huge role, is the type of woods you're in, how that impacts the depth perception, okay? It's a whole nother factor. But simple and effective drill that you absolutely should all be implementing, okay? See the layers while you're driving. Always be looking for all of the details. Try to see into the people's damn house, all right? I want you to see her standing at the kitchen sink, all right? What type of dishes is she washing? Maybe it's a he. But you get my drift there. Now, that's the big drill, okay? The seeing the layers, especially as you're driving, super effective. But now, what about the health of the eyes? Okay, like, this is important. There are things that you can do. I was just talking about this on a podcast the other day. There are definitely visual hygiene, like tactics that you can implement to help you just have healthier eyes. So about 8 years ago, one of my clients was an eye doctor, and I wanted to get in and get my eyes tested. I've always had great eyes and great vision, but at that time I was early 30s, and I said, I really would like to know, are we doing all right here? And so we got in and tested my eyes. Luckily at that time, great vision. So I said, hey doc, what can I do to maintain the health of my eyes? First thing he said was, well, you can use a moisturizing eye drop. Okay, just like any other tissue, your skin, you must stay hydrated. Okay, muscles, tendons, any soft tissue needs to be hydrated to work effectively and to be at its best. So using moisturizing eye drops. Now, if you spend any time at a computer or looking at electronics, TV, the blue light over time, as many of us know, can be harmful to your vision, to your eyes. So wearing blue light blocking glasses while you're looking at your screens, super helpful. That's also going to help you with obtaining better sleep. Now, sleep, hydration, nutrition, some of the necessities of being a healthier individual, those are also vital to visual performance and acuity, and those make a huge difference in the health of your eyes. If you're an unhealthy individual, alcohol, excess sugars, seed oils, all of these things that we know have a negative impact on the metabolic systems at play in our body, but any of the biological systems. If you're not just living a healthy life in that way, your eyes are going to be a component, just like the soft tissues, the bones, your spinal segments, etc. All of these things, okay, are at risk, and you're ultimately going to see a faster decay, okay, as a result. So there you go, guys. There's some awesome opportunities to improve your vision, to improve your capacity to shoot faster, more effectively, and ultimately to help improve the longevity of your optical components, which are so vital to your success in hunting and in just enjoying life. Okay, so take care of your eyes, start implementing seeing the layers today, and I guarantee you're going to have a more successful hunting career as a result. Keep charging, guys.